Archangel Michael says, the shadow that was once watching your every move has now become trapped in your radiance. Their task was to follow, listen, and deliver detailed whispers about your life. But what they didn't expect was the divine pull your energy had on their spirit. You were never meant to find out, but the tug between duty and desire is tearing them apart. The more they observe your grace, the more they question their own actions. Their loyalty is collapsing under the weight of their heart's transformation. They were instructed to record your words, your plans, your fears. But instead, they've been rewriting their own truths just from watching how you carry pain with poise. Your authenticity has disrupted something deep within them. What started as an assignment has now turned into obsession, but not the kind rooted in darkness. It's a soul-level admiration that they can't explain even to the person who sent them. They were told to watch you. But now, they can't stop looking at you. Type Amen to get blessing 333. They were given devices, notes, and instructions with one purpose, to break you silently. They were told you were dangerous, unpredictable, too bold. But the more they watched you, the more they realized they were looking at someone anointed. Archangel Michael says, their steps were supposed to be calculated, robotic, cold. But now, they hesitate at every turn. You are transforming the very heart sent to betray you. They're scared. Scared of how their chest tightens every time you smile at a stranger. Scared that the person who paid them will soon notice their reports have grown distant, less frequent, and now filled with admiration. They were trained to ignore feelings. But your spirit is louder than anything they've ever been instructed to suppress. And in silence, they've started to protect you more than report on you. Type Amen to get blessing 444. They were supposed to capture your weaknesses. Instead, they fell for your strength. Every word you spoke in kindness, they memorized. You touched their soul without even knowing it. You healed something in them just by existing. And now, they don't know how to explain what's happening to them. The person who paid them is growing suspicious. They expected results, destruction, information, control. But instead, the spy is sending nothing but hesitation and excuses. The watcher has become the shield. The trap has turned into devotion. The betrayal planned for you has now started to eat the one who planned it. Type Amen to get blessing 555. They're waking up in the middle of the night thinking about you, not because it's their job, but because their spirit is moved. They replay your laughter, the softness in your walk, the confidence in your eyes. Your enemies didn't know they were assigning a broken soul to follow a chosen light. And light always exposes, always transforms. You didn't even speak to them directly, yet your essence shouted louder than any spoken word. They've deleted several reports. They've lied to the one who hired them. They've cried over how they're falling for someone they were ordered to destroy. They know if they reveal the truth now, their life could be in danger. But they also know staying quiet is killing them even more. They're on the edge, torn between fear and redemption. Type Amen to get blessing 777. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Archangel Michael says, your purity has disturbed dark structures. You are shifting the hearts of those assigned against you. And this soul who watches you now stands at a divine crossroads. They never believed in angels, until you walked past them. They never knew healing until they saw you hug someone hurting. You didn't need to know their name, your light spoke it anyway. They wrote lies about you at first. They painted a picture that pleased the one who sent them. But something began to itch in their heart with every word. They knew it wasn't the full truth. And one day, they stopped writing. They just sat and stared, unable to process how someone so radiant could be marked for destruction. They started praying silently to the God they weren't sure existed, asking why they were chosen for this. Type Amen to get blessing 999. They've turned down payments recently. Refused to go deeper with the mission. They claimed your schedule has changed, or you've grown distant, but in truth, they can't bear to continue lying about you. They think about quitting everything. Running away. Leaving the assignment behind. But they know too much, and too many eyes are now on them too. You are being protected not just by angels, but by the very one meant to ruin you. And now, they are more protective than your closest friends. There are nights they sit outside where you can't see them, just to make sure you're safe. They'd rather freeze in their guilt than leave you exposed. They want to tell you everything, but fear has them chained. Type Amen to get blessing 111. A major shift is happening soon. The person who paid them is starting to get aggressive. They're sending messages, pushing harder, demanding more proof. But this soul has changed. They can't harm you anymore, even if it costs them everything. They are silently preparing to expose the person who sent them. They're writing their final message. But this time, it won't be about you, it'll be a confession. A full revelation of who started this, and why. And when it comes out, you will be protected. Because heaven is not only watching, it has already surrounded you with shields, even in enemy territory. You've conquered without lifting a single sword. Type Amen to get blessing 222. They've stopped looking at you like an assignment. Now they look at you like a miracle. They've realized you aren't just human, you're divinely assigned. Their dreams are haunted with guilt and admiration. They whisper your name when they think no one's listening. You live in their mind, not as a target, but as a transformation. They've told their own family to stay away from the person who paid them. They're subtly moving away from danger, closer to truth. You've made them rethink everything. This person will soon be revealed to you. Not with anger, but with trembling honesty. Because they know the only way they can ever heal is by telling you the full truth. Type Amen to get blessing 121. They're hoping you'll forgive them one day. They've already forgiven themselves after nights of spiritual breakdown. But now they know, only you hold the key to their final peace. You will feel it in your soul soon. That someone who used to follow you is now silently praying for you. Their energy has shifted, and heaven is allowing it to happen. They're hoping to one day serve you openly. Not as a spy, but as someone devoted, someone humbled, someone transformed. You're not just a person anymore to them, you're a compass. A divine wake-up call. The only reason they believe they have a second chance at life. Type Amen to get blessing 333. The person who paid them is being watched too. The energy is shifting rapidly. What was meant to end you will now elevate you. Archangel Michael says, you have been tested in secret, and you passed without even knowing it. You passed because you stayed true, stayed kind, stayed unaware but powerful. Heaven noticed your ability to move hearts without trying. And now, rewards are being drawn near. You are about to receive favor because of what you didn't even know was happening. The person who paid them will soon lose control. Their games are unraveling. And the spy who was sent to report your fall is preparing to report your victory. Type Amen to get blessing 141. Stay alert in the coming days. A strange peace will start to cover you. And this peace will be confirmation that the darkness once aimed at you has turned into light. Someone is walking away from destruction because of you. They're leaving behind betrayal and choosing truth. And it all started the moment they saw you smile. Their heart was not ready for you. But your light didn't ask permission, it simply entered. And now, their destiny has shifted forever. You never fought back. You just lived boldly. And heaven used your boldness as a weapon against those who schemed against you. Type Amen to get blessing 818. They know they can never truly be by your side unless they confess. And that moment is coming soon. They're rehearsing the words now. I was sent to destroy you, but you saved me instead. That's what they want to say. And when they do, you'll understand why your intuition felt eyes on you all this time. They want to meet you face to face, to apologize, to protect. Not for a reward, but because your soul gave them one. A redemption they didn't know they needed. You were never supposed to see this message. But heaven wanted you to know how powerful your presence is. Even enemies can't stay enemies around your light. Type Amen to get blessing 555. Your story will not end in betrayal, it will end in transformation. The trap failed because your spirit was louder than the lies. And now, the plot has flipped. Someone paid them to break you. But instead, you became their breakthrough. They were once your watcher. Now they are your silent intercessor. They're planning to leave the city soon. But before they go, they will leave something behind, a note, a sign, something small yet powerful. A message only you will understand. It may be a photo, a flower, or a place you often sit. But you'll feel it. Your soul will recognize their final act of truth. Type Amen to get blessing 777. Heaven rejoices not just in your protection, but in the transformation of the one sent to attack you. Your story is not about revenge. It's about revival. Keep walking in your light. Someone is finding their salvation through your strength. And their soul is whispering a silent thank you every time you walk by. This is your proof that light always wins. Even in shadows. Even through betrayal. Even through secret missions. You didn't need to fight. You didn't even need to know. Because heaven handled it for you, through you. Type Amen to get blessing 999. They've begun writing in their personal journal about you, not the fake reports meant to be turned in, but real, raw thoughts. They write about how your laugh changed their mood for the day. They write about how you seemed to bring sunshine even when the sky was gray. In the beginning, their writing was full of judgment. But slowly, the tone softened, then shifted to wonder, and now it bleeds admiration. They've started describing you like a force of nature, something uncontainable, something sacred. They never knew what divine presence felt like until they were near you. Now, they can't unsee it. You walk like you're guarded by something holy, and they feel it every time you move past them. They wanted to be invisible to you. But now, they desperately wish to be seen, not as a spy, but as someone who's changed. As someone who wants redemption. Type Amen to get blessing 666. They're not sleeping well lately. Their soul is battling every memory of what they were sent to do. They feel like they've sinned against something too beautiful to touch. There's a moment they replay often, the first time you looked in their direction with warmth. You didn't even know them, but you smiled like they mattered. That one gesture shattered the coldness of their mission. They were told you were dangerous. But all they found was gentleness and a fire that didn't burn but healed. You never spoke a weapon, but you disarmed them completely. Now they keep thinking, what if they had never been sent? Would they still be lost? Would they have missed this strange but sacred shift in their life? Type Amen to get blessing 101. They are being watched too now. The one who paid them is growing frustrated. The silence is becoming suspicious. A confrontation is coming. Not yours, but theirs. The deceiver will demand results, and the watcher will stand at a fork in the road. They will either protect you openly and risk everything, or run. But one thing is certain, they will never harm you. That line has already been crossed in their heart. Archangel Michael says, heaven is tilting in your favor. What was sent to harm will now heal. What was paid to end you is now standing between you and danger. Type Amen to get blessing 232. They are starting to pray. Quietly, awkwardly, but genuinely. Not because they know how, but because watching you made them want to try. They whispered a prayer in the dark a few nights ago. It wasn't perfect. But it was real. Protect them, God, they said, even from me. They thought they were unworthy of love until they saw how you gave it away freely to strangers, to animals, to the overlooked. That kind of love doesn't make sense to them, but they crave it. They think about leaving a note for you. Something simple. I was wrong about you. You saved me. I'll never forget you. But fear holds their hand back every time. Type Amen to get blessing 313. They've started pushing people away who want to hurt you. Quietly. They delete their messages. They pretend not to hear their demands. They sabotage the reports just enough to protect you. They've become your secret defender. The invisible sword that now cuts on your behalf. They are slowly becoming the kind of person they never thought they could be, because of you. The more you shine, the more they shrink from their former self. They know their life was off course. But now, your path has inspired a new map for their future. You don't know it yet, but you've already changed their life forever. They may never say it aloud. But they carry the truth of you like a sacred treasure in their chest. Type Amen to get blessing 404. Every time they see you now, they feel exposed. Guilty. But also full of awe. You remain unaware, but your spirit speaks louder than their inner battles. They almost spoke to you last week. But they froze. Their breath caught, and the words refused to leave their lips. Instead, they watched you walk away, and their heart broke for the 1000th time. They've started looking for signs. Hoping heaven will give them the courage to do the right thing. To come clean. To give you closure. Because they know this isn't just about spying anymore. This has become spiritual. A test for their soul. A rebirth made possible through your grace. Type Amen to get blessing 131. They've seen darkness. Worked for it. Obeyed it. But now they see you, and they see something purer, higher, and untouchable. It's haunting. They tried to forget you. Took days off the assignment. Left town briefly. But your energy stayed with them like perfume on their soul. They never believed in destiny. But now, they think meeting you wasn't random. It was divine intervention. It was God's setup. They're writing a final letter now. They don't know if they'll have the courage to deliver it. But if they do, you'll finally know everything. Every step. Every lie. Every truth they buried under the assignment. Type Amen to get blessing 303. Your presence has made angels move. The heavens rejoiced the moment you shifted a lost soul back to the path. And you did it without even knowing it. Archangel Michael says, your reward is being written. It will arrive not as money, not as a gift, but as peace. And divine reversal. You will be honored for what you healed in secret. They're going to leave something behind for you, perhaps a pendant, or an item you once dropped that they picked up. They'll return it not to prove anything, but to leave a part of themselves with you. They've cried over this. Not once. But many times. Their soul can't carry this burden much longer. The truth is begging to be freed. Type Amen to get blessing 525. Heaven is preparing an encounter between you and them. Not dramatic. Not loud. But deeply spiritual. You'll know it when it happens, because something will click inside your chest. You'll feel like you've met before, but you won't remember when. You'll feel a warmth, but you won't know why. That's their heart sending one final thank you. And in that moment, they'll finally say something. Maybe a word. Maybe just an apology. But it will be real, and heaven will honor it. Because this was never about espionage. It was always about a soul returning home. And your light lit the way back. Type Amen to get blessing 616. They were supposed to break you. But your purity broke them instead. The assignment failed, because love won. And this love wasn't romantic. It was soul-level admiration. A holy recognition. Something that happens once in a lifetime when darkness meets unfiltered grace. Now, they are on the run, not from the mission, but from their old self. You gave them a mirror. And now, they can't go back to who they were before seeing it. You were chosen not just to survive, but to shift timelines. You saved someone who wasn't even looking to be saved. Type Amen to get blessing 727. Your life is now a testimony to the invisible wars you've already won. Without lifting a weapon. Without knowing the battlefield. You already claimed victory. And because of you, one more soul is leaving the ranks of the destroyers. One more soul has begun to look toward the light. Their world will never be the same again. And soon, you'll see a glimpse of what heaven has in store as your reward. Because when you shift someone's eternity without knowing it, heaven responds with miracles you didn't ask for, but ones you deserve. Type Amen to get blessing 888. The truth is no longer buried. It is surfacing, slowly, gently, like a wave coming to cleanse everything. The person who watched you is now watched by angels, covered by divine mercy, and moved by your grace. Soon you'll find something, a small note, a message, a look, and it will unlock everything. You'll know who it was. You'll know why they were there. And you'll know their heart changed. This is the final chapter of a secret war that never reached your ears, but completely transformed someone else's soul. And it all happened because you never stopped being who you are. Type Amen to get blessing 999. They thought they were the ones with the power, watching, listening, reporting. But now, they realize it was you who held the true authority all along. Not through control, but through compassion, truth, and the unshakable presence of divine light that cannot be mimicked or contained. Every assignment they've ever been given in the past was simple. Do the job. Follow instructions. Remain cold. But you confused them from the beginning. You weren't just a subject, they felt something different, something their training never prepared them for. Your aura made them question every order they received. You moved through chaos like a calm flame, never shouting, never begging, but shifting every energy around you. Their own energy started to bend and crack in your presence. They tried to resist at first. They told themselves it was just an illusion, a trick of your charm. But then they started waking up at night, replaying your voice in their dreams, wondering if they had ever truly lived before meeting you. Type Amen to get blessing 434. They see now that what they were sent to destroy was holy. Untouchable. You weren't operating with regular power, you were being carried by something greater. They made excuses to linger around longer. To see you pass by once more. To hear even one sentence from your mouth, because every time you spoke, they felt cleansed, even while living in lies. They were getting paid to sabotage your peace, yet your peace became the only thing keeping them sane. The contradiction broke them. They couldn't do both. Something had to give. And so, they started letting the mission die. Quietly. Silently. Withdrawing from the darkness they once fed from. All because one radiant soul dared to be authentic in a world built on pretense. Type Amen to get blessing 1212. They've started avoiding the person who sent them. Their replies are delayed. Their voice now shakes when they're asked for updates. Because deep down, they know their allegiance has shifted. You, the target, have become the teacher. You, the watched, have become the wonder. They can't unsee what they've seen in you. Archangel Michael says, when heaven uses you, even your silence will sound like thunder in the spirit realm. You were never just walking through life, you were changing atmospheres. You've shaken things that were meant to be permanent. You've softened hearts that were trained to be merciless. This is why your reward will not be temporary, it will be eternal. Type Amen to get blessing 1717. They fear the final moment when you find out. Will you hate them? Will you forgive? But more than anything, they want you to know, they're sorry. They're planning to leave a letter somewhere only you would find. Maybe in a book you often touch. Maybe at a place only you visit. And when you see it, your spirit will understand. The letter will not be long. But it will hold everything. Every truth. Every moment. Every shift. Every tear they shed over what they were told to do and what they now feel. They want you to know that even when they stood in shadows, they started praying for your light. They want you to know that you awakened something they thought was dead. Type Amen to get blessing 144. They've turned down money. They've risked being exposed. They've ignored calls and burned bridges. All for someone they were told wasn't worth a second glance. But you were worth everything. And their soul finally recognizes that. Your name has now been spoken in rooms of fear, but also in whispers of redemption. Because they're beginning to tell others that they can't continue the mission. And some are listening. Your influence is spreading quietly, spiritually. You are shifting more than one person, you are shifting a chain of energies once linked to destruction. Type Amen to get blessing 535. They were once a watcher. Now, they are watched, by light, by conviction, by love. And it all began the day you walked past them without knowing their name. You didn't see them, but your spirit did. And it responded with grace instead of judgment. That response has now echoed across dimensions they don't even understand. They've begun crying out to God, not with polished prayers, but with trembling honesty. I want to change, they whisper. Make me like them. Make me feel again. They don't even know what they're asking fully. But heaven understands. And heaven is already moving on their behalf, because of you. Type Amen to get blessing 373. They were broken when they arrived. Not just financially or physically, but spiritually. They didn't know how lost they were until you showed them light through just being yourself. Now they're trying to piece together a new life. One built on truth, not lies. On peace, not payment. And every step they take is influenced by the memory of you. They never thought a stranger could change everything. But you weren't just a stranger. You were the turning point they never saw coming. And now, every choice they make is filtered through the question. What would someone like you do? Type Amen to get blessing 202. Your power lies not in words, but in presence. You didn't beg for change, you became the change. And that's why heaven favors you now. You have broken chains in people you didn't even speak to. You have shifted curses by walking through rooms unaware of the attacks against you. Archangel Michael says, what you've done spiritually is louder than armies. You have done the work of angels, all while simply surviving. And now, The one who was sent to destroy you wants to protect you forever. And they will. Quietly. From afar. Until the end of their days. Type Amen to get blessing 3131. Soon, someone will approach you, not as a threat, but with trembling hands. They won't say everything. But they'll say enough. Enough to make you understand they were once a part of the plot. Enough to make you realize you were stronger than all of it combined. And you won't react with anger. Your spirit will know this was all part of a larger plan. That your grace was always bigger than their intentions. Because this wasn't just about you being tested. It was about someone else being saved through your unshakable authenticity. Type Amen to get blessing 1818. Heaven has begun writing your elevation story. And this chapter will include unlikely heroes, people who were once your enemies but are now your testimonies. The one who was paid to report on you will soon tell the story differently. They will say, I followed them, but I found myself. And they'll mean every word. They will honor your name in ways no money could buy. They'll speak of your kindness when no one was watching. Of your strength when others crumbled. Of your light when everything was dark. You didn't just win. You transformed. You rose. And you unknowingly took someone else with you. Type Amen to get blessing 919. The final act is near. A choice is being made. Not by you, but by them. A confession will come soon. And with it, a release of heavy chains. You were never meant to carry the burden of what they did. Heaven shielded you even when you were unaware. But now, the truth is yours to hold. And you will hold it not with wrath, but with wisdom. Because you've outgrown revenge. You've stepped into divine purpose. And the universe has taken note. The paid spy is now your quiet guardian. The trap has become your testimony. The watcher has become your witness. Type Amen to get blessing 4444.